Welcome everybody to the 2019 LPRT semifinals for doubles. My name's Tim Baghurst. Joining this introduction to the show court, should be a spectacular event, and we are looking forward to quite a match here. Two Mexican teams battling it out to advance to the final. Herrera, Mejia facing off against Enriquez and Parrilla. Enriquez and Parrilla, perhaps a surprise entry into the semifinals, defeating the Argentine team of Vargas and Mendez yesterday in a close one. And of course, Herrera and Mejia, they won in Mexico when they played together in the first pro stop of the event, but didn't play in Virginia because Mejia didn't attend, and they advanced yesterday in an 11-9 tiebreaker over the Guatemalan pair of Martinez and Rodriguez. So, two Mexican teams fighting each other to face the finalists coming up, which will be between Longoria Salas and, well, let's hold off. Let's listen in as we introduce these players. Well, we're still waiting. Herrera and Laime. They will be facing off against Longoria Salas later. If you're just joining us, thank you for joining in. My name's Tim Baghurst, and we are looking forward to this semifinal, one of two that we're going to be streaming this evening. We have a transition to the show court and looking forward to this event. We are here in Minneapolis, Minnesota at the Target Center. They have shut down a large portion of this center for the event, and you can see it's turned into quite a spectacle. I'm sure the players themselves enjoy the moment. We'll see how this environment affects the players. For some, it elevates their game. For some, it might bring it down. We'll see. So here we go. Parrilla and Enriquez in the peach-colored shirts, in gray in the back. Mejia on the right, Herrera on the left. Herrera, the only lefty of these four. Parrilla on the left, serving first. A backhand serve. That's interesting. It starts with a side out from Mejia. She is the guiding force of this doubles team. In the back, Enriquez and Parrilla. Hard to say on this one. I think probably Enriquez is the more experienced player. Mejia, the only one of these four who is in the semifinals of singles tomorrow. And handled by Mejia very well. She is a very talented doubles player, has soft hands, can hit anything from anywhere, and we'll see some of that today. Well, look at Parrilla. Good rally going on already. Mejia wins it. Long rally to start this match. Jessica Parrilla came off an injury about 18 months ago. It's good to see her back playing on the tour.
Yeah, she was on actually for knee surgery, and that took her ACL surgery. That took her out, unfortunately, for quite some time.
Well, you could see Mejia getting stuck in the middle of the court. Two serving four.
So exciting. This is the first we're on the glass court this weekend at the U.S. Open.
Behind the back.
That's a good shot by Nancy Enriquez.
But handled well by Herrera. And sometimes somebody hits a crazy shot like that and you get a little bit anxious.
Yeah, these are two good doubles teams. Both have played with their partners many times. And had some success. Although I will say that Parrilla and Enriquez upset the #2 seeds last night, Mendez and Vargas, in a tiebreaker.
Great shot, Parrilla, right side. She's usually on the left.
Could see the glass court. These players make it look very easy, but this glass court adds a lot of challenges. There are a lot of lights and cameras, a lot of reflection from inside the court. Although you can't see it so much when you're looking out like this, it's a tough court. I tell you, they're definitely making it look easy.
It's a good point, and I mentioned coming into this match, some people will rise to the occasion. Obviously, there's a lot of people watching on for this match, and some maybe get a little bit nervous. Skip ball, Enriquez left side. Four serving four. Diving get from Parrilla.
She goes into the back wall, comes up a little bit short there, but no surprise. I mean, you're going to see Jessica Parrilla with great court coverage. She's going to dive all over the court, and then her partner Nancy Enriquez, very consistent shooter. As long as they talk, they have a lot of success. Doubles kind of relies on communication with each other.
Six serving four. Mejia and Herrera, a very talented team. They won in Mexico in our first pro stop of the season.
That was a grand slam. They took out the #1 team, Paola Longoria and Samantha Salas, in a tiebreaker. That was an excellent match. They've had plenty of championship experiences. They were in the finals here at the U.S. Open last year, and they're trying to get back to that final again.
Skip from Parrilla. She just missed it. And timeout on the court. Probably a good timeout. Mejia and Herrera seem to have settled very quickly. TJ, we talked we've talked over the last couple months about this pair. They have won the Mexican national championships before. They play very well together because one is a shooter and one is more of a control player.
Right. Right, but that makes a good doubles team. So yes, and the fact that they know each other very well, they know what each other's capable is, it makes a big difference in doubles.
Well, it's a good timeout, I think, for Jessica Parrilla and Enriquez, and we have so many doubles teams coming out of Mexico that it's just kind of these are all finding their partner in Mexico, and who's going to work with me and Parrilla and Enriquez. You said it, they had a good win yesterday, but there's two teams ahead of them in Mexico. Here's one of them, and of course, the number one seeds Longoria and Salas.
Right. I mean, that's a good point. We should mention that our doubles semifinals and our singles semifinals are all Mexico and South America. I mean, that just goes to show how much popularity has grown in those south of the border, really, in those countries. A lot of junior development, a lot of good players coming out and onto the tour from Mexico, Bolivia.
Well, point was given for Enriquez being in the way. Both Herrera and Mejia were ready to hit that ball. You could see all three stuck on the left side, just trying to stay out of that shot.
Rally here. Wow, gosh, so many tough shots on this court. I mean, this glass wall, not to mention the reflections and just being able to see the ball, but it has some crazy bounces too.
Yeah, I've spoken to some of the players who have competed on this court this week. They just said the ball just sometimes disappears.
I'm going to say Monse Mejia just lost it in that side glass on that shot.
4 serving 10. It's been a very quick start to this doubles match. Both teams earning points when they score, particularly Mejia and Herrera. Parrilla serving to this left side. And you saw Enriquez trying to get out of the way to give her partner room, but I don't think Parrilla knew that that was coming.
But she went for it, though. I mean, like I said, typically good, great court coverage from Parrilla. And you hear them yelling, me, yo, well, yo, tu, me, you. Just, you have to communicate in doubles. And that's a broken ball.
But you can see, I love this view because you can see all the players moving around. They've got to have the footwork even when they're not hitting the ball.
It's a nice view from that front court. All right, Team Mexico. They're all from Mexico. Parrilla and Enriquez in the service box right now, serving at 4-10. This is game 1.
Parrilla just hesitated and then let it drop. Herrera, Mejia in complete control of this first game.
See that ball just stick to the side wall. Enriquez took a dive there, came up a little short. Alexandra Herrera, the only lefty on the court, serving now. Jessica going to return to serve on her knees, but that's going to be half out due to Enriquez's put away into that right corner.
Doubles is certainly a game of runs, and right now Parrilla and Enriquez need to get in the box and find some momentum. And there's that glass wall that you talked about, and there was something interesting in there. Parrilla was using 2 hands to shovel the ball back to the front wall.
We noticed that on this court, and even on that court 1 where we were playing earlier, some of those drive Z-serves, players were just struggling with. So many of these angles are just making it so difficult for these players. Another dive attempt by Jessica Parrilla. She comes up a little short.
Yeah, you can see on the replay, great effort from her, but not good enough in this situation.
And players call a timeout. We'll take a break as well. We will be back live in just 1 minute. All right, welcome back. We're in after a timeout. Still game number 1. Oh boy, that's going to be a replay due to somebody hitting the wrong button on that music. So after a timeout, 13 serving 4.
Soft hands from Mejia, and we talked about those. And there's a great example, just taking the pace off the ball, guiding it into the left corner. Another point for Mejia and Herrera. And another point for Herrera. I don't think she realized it was game, but just like that, TJ, Herrera and Mejia really making a statement. Look, we are the current LPRT champions of the tour so far this season, and here's why.
Yes, that was a well-played match by those two. We'll take a little break. We'll be back for game number 2 in just a minute. Welcome back. We're live at the U.S. Open here in downtown Minneapolis, Minnesota. This is game number 2 of our first doubles semifinal.
Big skip from Parrilla and got to move her feet forward. It wasn't a great serve. She had the opportunity, but she was lunging forward to hit that first point for Herrera.
Yeah, so Herrera and Mejia, the serving team right now, won that first game pretty handedly. So we'll see what adjustments Enriquez and Parrilla make in game 2. So they actually, in their upset over Mendez and Vargas last night, Parrilla and Enriquez came back. They lost the first game about 15-6, I think it was, and came back and won the next 2. So we'll see what happens here.
Another point for Herrera on the left side. So far continuing where they left off from that first game. Soft hands from Herrera. I don't know whether that was deliberate, but it certainly worked out. And you can hear Jessica Parrilla. She's not too happy with the way things are going. That's a good shot, Parrilla. Oh, I'm not sure. Was skip called? A replay.
Okay, so actually just a pause there. They were waiting for the referee to call the score again.
That time Mejia caught a little flat-footed on the right side. So at the beginning of a game, the pair only get one server, after which each server gets an opportunity to earn points. So side out, Jessica Parrilla serving. Enriquez opted to let that ball go through her legs, and she did that in singles too, allowing balls to pass behind her and then getting caught.
Yeah, on a lot of other courts that might have been okay. She might have got the setup off the back wall, but there's just too many crazy bounces on these courts, especially this glass court. Oh, that one's out of here. So that ball went out of the court. It actually went out off of Nancy Enriquez's racket. So that is a point for the other team. Had that ball bounced on the floor and went out, they would replay it. For some reason, the music's coming back on while the players are playing a match, and that's not supposed to happen.
So 4 serving 0. Wow, Mejia, are you kidding me? What a shot. Look at those soft hands. Just guides it into the front, makes it look so easy, TJ. So difficult to execute.
Yeah, she's got some of the best hands on court. I say that every time she plays, singles and doubles, just such control and such a smart player.
Well, Enriquez having a little conversation with Parrilla, a little bit frustrated. What we saw when they were serving is both of them served to Mejia, to Herrera.
Right.
Another good shot, Herrera.
Pinch into the left corner. I say it all the time, and I'm going to say it again. Rally ending shots. When Herrera can set her feet, she is deadly. She's one of the best shooters. That is why she is number 4 on tour. Players have a timeout here. We'll do the same. We'll be back here live in just a minute.
7-0. I expected a little bit of a battle, and it's turned out to be kind of a dare I say blowout, but
yeah, I mean, it's still early. I've seen too many times where the underdog comes back and wins a match like this. So I never count any pro out of a match. But I will tell you, Mejia and Herrera have been on this court before. They played on this court in the finals last year. They lost to Longoria and Salas in 2018. And again, like you mentioned, Tim, they beat Longoria and Salas in Mexico at our first event of this season.
So something interesting happened in the middle of that rally. Jessica Parrilla ran over to the right side to cover a shot, and then they stayed left and right and won the rally. Got the side out, so 2 good side outs, and now they find themselves in the service box. And there's the emotion that you can see. Jessica Parrilla plays with a little bit of fire, and she has to get herself going. She can go on a really good streak where she just plays perfect racquetball, but she's going to have to do that here, 1-8. But Herrera says, not this time, Jessica. I've got this.
Yeah.
Puts it down for a side out.
Yeah, I mean, a serve to Herrera has to be something that makes her move her feet. If she can set, especially a setup off the back wall, 9 times out of 10 she's going to put the ball away.
So 2 times in a row they serve to Herrera. 2 times in a row she rips one down the left side. Says, thank you very much. Let me serve. Let's see what I can do.
I think that might be a time to think of another strategy, or at least a different serve to Herrera.
Great shot from Parrilla, running around to hit that on her forehand.
It's an aggressive. I like that aggressive return of serve.
So we've had 4 rallies, we've had 4 serves, and we've had 4 service return winners. Parrilla serving. Make that 5.
Enriquez just seems to be struggling with this glass court. Just not following the ball well enough.
Wow. So 6 rallies in a row have been serve and return winner. Just like that. Now it's Herrera. Let's see if she can get a point. It's her teammate, but it started with a loose return from Jessica Parrilla.
So a 9-1 lead for the serving team. Just not what you would normally expect for a semifinals here at the U.S. Open.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Mejia is just
playing so well.
Yeah, and she did really well in her quarterfinal earlier today in singles. She'll be taking on world number 1 Longoria tomorrow. You should watch that one. I think it's going to be special.
Yes. Right, in the singles, of course, Alexander Herrera and Monte Mejia to play against each other. And as in the interview, I was talking to Mejia about playing her partner, and she says, yeah, it's tough, you know. You go in and you play your best friend, but it's still racquetball. You know, you still have to play.
Enriquez and Parrilla just seem out of sorts. They just don't seem to be ready to play. I don't know what the reasoning is behind that, but and there's Parrilla running across to hit a forehand and plowing it into the floor. They're going to take their second and final timeout. It makes sense. There's nothing going for them.
To stop the momentum. Yeah, regroup, try something different. Switch sides, anything, because what they're doing right now isn't working. We'll take a little break as well. We'll be back live in just a moment. Welcome back. Herrera and Mejia trying to close out this match in 2 games to move on to the finals. Behind the back shot by Alexander Herrera.
Better from Enriquez.
Okay, good timeout used. Better shots by Enriquez. And as soon as you say that, she just seems to be struggling here today. She did play Samantha Salas earlier in the singles quarterfinals.
Wow, too good, Mejia. Look at that shot. Just steps into it. Side out. She did. It's a fair point, but then I would also say that these players play singles, doubles every time they come to a tournament. It's nothing new.
Right.
They should be prepared for this, and I'm sure physically Enriquez isn't that tired.
I see that a lot. Mejia backing up her partner. If the ball wraps around, you know, I look at that team as Alexander Herrera being definitely the shooter, and Monte Mejia also a shooter and good control shots, touch shots, but definitely the retriever in that duo.
Another skip, Enriquez, and another point for Herrera and Mejia. Agree, and they talk together. They talk together a lot. They communicate well on the court.
You have to. You have to communicate in doubles.
That time Enriquez puts it down for a side out. 1 serving 13.
Well, the serving team has their work cut out for them now. Down 12 points in the second game.
There's an example where you said, I mean, Enriquez is there. It just looked like she lost it. And I wonder how much experience she has playing on this show court. And I also said at the beginning, some people, their games rise and some drop. And someone like Mejia, she seems to play better in the big moment.
Yeah, she's had these experiences before. Junior world champion multiple times. Mexican champion also in 2018. So she's been on this stage before.
That time, a rare skip from Herrera. 13-1 second server. Parrilla diving to the floor in the front, but it brings up match point.
Yeah, again, very surprised at this match.
I'm
I
shocked.
really thought this was going to be a better matchup.
And finishing it with an ace.
Match. Wow. And so you'll see the replay here on the ace serve just cracking out on that backside wall. I still feel like Nancy Enriquez just had trouble seeing it.
Well, Jessica Parrilla as well didn't put the ball down, and they tried double serving Herrera. They tried a few different things, but ultimately it's Herrera and Mejia. There's a reason that they were expected to advance to the final, and they are. They were going to face one of 2 teams. It's going to be Salas Longoria, Laime and Rivera. That's going to come up in a little bit later this evening here on the LPRT.
Right. So, all right. We will take a break. Next up on this court is an IRT doubles semifinals, and you can find that on the IRT network, IRTtour.com. All right, thank you. We will be back live after that match for our second doubles semifinal.